Hey, Rob, congratulations. Welcome back to Australia.
Thank you.
We were all reminiscing here. Not that you remember, but back in '97, you came, was a different radio studio, to be perfectly honest, in another part of town. But came in here, and you're the young guy, Matchbox 20, were the zeitgeist band of the moment, and you've been coming back ever since.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, I think there's a good 8-year period I don't remember in the '90s. But I was told that fun was had by all.
Yeah, it was great time. And another time you actually sang a couple of songs at a function that I was emceeing called the $1 Million Lunch.
Yeah, I remember that one.
You were sensational that day, and it was.
I was,
wasn't
I?
No,
Yeah,
you were. It was
yeah.
but
That's what everybody says.
I mean, par for the course, but still.
And you really helped to raise a lot of money that day. So thank you for
Awesome.
everything you've
Thank you,
contributed
man.
to us. Now you're coming out. You're going to play. Later this year. So we've at Margaret Court Arena, Tuesday, 19th of November, Rochford Wines at the Yarra Valley, a day in the green, Saturday, the 9th of November, right around the Melbourne Cup period. A lot of tourists
Yes,
in
I
town.
love coming during that time of year.
It's a great time of year.
I love going down to the hotels and watching the ladies in their beautiful hats.
Can I ask you about your
That's not a
association?
euphemism, by the way. I didn't
No, they do have beautiful hats. Can I ask you about your association with Australia? Has this been a country that has been, particularly kind to you? You are much loved down under.
It's everything for us in Australia happened around in the same time and at equal measure as it did in the States. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like a back and forth. So there's always two gardens that we were tending equally. We would to make sure that whatever we did, we would do it equally as to come over here, and we would go to Toowoomba and Wollongong, and we go out to places that I've met Australians that have never been to, But I mean, I think that I found over the last 20 something years, I think we share a sensibility. I think there's a sense of humor. I think there's a sense of ease. With the way that you kind of take on the day that I really found to appreciate.
Hey, Robert, just reading that you've actually written songs for Willie Nelson, written songs for Mick Jagger. Is longevity in your industry one of the great things? Is that, look at those performers who, Mick Jagger's a bit unwell at the moment, but you can keep doing this for another 30 years, Rob.
Well, the writing, you know what I mean? And Mick shows that, I guess, that the performing as well. But, I think the thing is, if you're lucky enough to get the gift from your fans of being able to do this for 20 years, there's something that becomes really, really special. You know how, if you have a photograph, and at the time when you take the photograph, you don't think too much of it, but you unearth it 20 years later, and it's something very, very special. It's like gold in your hand. And I think having the ability to, pull out a song like an Unwell, some 15, 20 years later, it kind of it becomes a part of people in more of a way. So I think it's a special gift to be able to keep doing that. And I think, and the writing, as you get older, you get more perspective on things anyway. And so hopefully the writing it gets better, and it becomes about more than just trying to meet girls.
One of the great exactly. One of the great songs, "Smooth," with Carlos Santana, celebrates its 20th anniversary. I just looking at that, nearly fell over. But it was also just been ranked as the second most successful song of all time on the Billboard Hot 100.
Well, to be fair, it's not the second greatest song of all time. I mean, it's I think Hey Jude is number 8.
Right.
I mean, let's put perspective all around.
No, what I'm hearing is that you're 6 songs better than Hey Jude.
Well, Rob, we can
I'm
give you
richer than the Beatles. That's what I'm hearing.
That's it. The highest praise we can afford in this studio is our football reporter out there, Tom Brown. We've had Sting roll through and play at the desk and a whole range of international artists, and you cannot get Tom off his phone because he's chasing football stories. He stood up, put the phone down, and was singing Unwell. So that's about as
That's high
praise.
praise. I like that. Yeah,
Doesn't
right
get
on.
any more than that. Going back in time, though, I just want to go back on a Smooth.
Yeah.
Because as Darcy said, you've written songs with Willie Nelson, Mick Jagger. You started with the guys at Matchbox 20 when you were 21 years of age. There's been a tremendous catalogue of songs that you've been able to put together. But when you sat down and you're working with Carlos Santana, and now 20 years later, as you say, when you look back, retrospectively looking back at that moment, and for all your modesty there, to be named the second most successful song, regardless of what it is, it's a great song.
Yeah,
What's your feelings about all that?
Well, the funny thing is that literally the second that I landed in Australia, the first thing that my phone popped open was a message from Carlos, checking to see how the promo was going, how the tour is going. He just sent me his new record that's just coming out now.
Yeah.
And he sent me some advanced copies with some other songs that aren't on the record. I think the friendship that came out of this with me and Carlos, and a genuine kind of a mentorship that with me and him, and we try and get together and have dinner, and we see each other at shows, and that's really kind of the best thing that happened. On a professional side, it was I had just finished the first record with Matchbox 20. We sold 13 million records and thought we were kind of a big deal. And then I met Carlos, and I got perspective on everything and kind of realized that, it's a good thing to have some success early, especially because it gets you a chance to really get in there and maybe have, start a good career. But like when you hang out with a legend like that and you see the power of something like that and what he's meant to people for the last 40 or 50 years, like it kind of humbles you in a way and makes you realize, okay, just shut up, keep your mouth shut, and go do the work.
Carlos has been texting me this morning as well too, which is coincidence.
Did Willie Nelson become friends with you? Have you, when you wrote for Willie, are you guys mates? Because he's a guy that I want to be friends with. Willie Nelson.
I'll answer the question. Yes, I've smoked on his bus more than once.
That was what I was going to get to.
No, it's funny. I got a chance to we wrote together. We did some stuff, and then for a couple years later, we would get together. He would do a TV show for his birthday, and Matchbox 20 was his backing band, for that. So I think there's just been a lot of great moments that came out of it. And none of those would have happened without Carlos. All these things, none of these people would have called me and wanted me to work with them had it not been for that moment.
Rob, do you still have those moments where you're talking about legends of the industry where you go, I can't believe, I was in New York and Mick Jagger invited me to a Stones concert. Does that still happen to you? Do you still get amazed by the?
Yeah, of course. I think I'm dead if I don't. I mean, no matter, because I'm moving forward. No matter how forward I move, they're still there. You know what I mean? No matter what I do, I'm not Mick Jagger. So I get excited about any of those things. And I think I have musical heroes just like anybody else does. And I get geeked out by talent. So I get really, really excited when I get a chance to meet my idols.
And Rob, you're so versatile, and we're making the point ad nauseum here this morning, the people you've worked with. But where do you go from here? Where are you in your mind at the moment in your musical travels, as far as genre is concerned?
I try not to think too much about it. I mean, whenever I make a record, I write all the time. So I'll write 3 or 4 records worth of material, and then when it's time to make a record, I'll pick whatever the 12 best are.
Yeah.
I think I'm really starting. I mean, and this is premature because I'm just starting this record now, and I've got a tour in the States and here, and I've got a couple other tours. But I think the next thing that I really would like to do is I'd like to get back in with Matchbox and get something going. I'm kind of jonesing for that world and those songs, with those guys.
Fantastic. So when would that happen in your schedule? As you said, you've got tours and things. Must be so hard to just try and line everything up these days.
It is, especially, it's harder to think about the idea of the traditional idea of let's go in, let's make a record, let's go in the studio for months. You know what I mean? Especially everybody's got families, they've got the gardens that they're tending as well. And so I think maybe because of the new landscape, maybe a band like us could go in, just record a couple songs, get something that we like, and then go out and tour, just so that we get a chance to kind of go out together again. So, and I think that there's a really good aesthetic to Matchbox 20 in 2020. So if we could do something like that, that might be nice.
Matchbox
That's
2020.
exciting.
I love it.
I like it.
Hey, Rob, but Rosie's going to plug, you're going to be out at Eastland today. She'll give you all the details. I just want to ask you, what are you listening to at the moment in 2019? Is there a band that's coming through that is on your playlist?
I mean, there's a lot. I love bands like the Lumineers. I love My Morning Jacket, and there's a guy named Father John Misty. I just heard in the back there's an Australian, Amy Shark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
She's
wow,
cool.
that's a talent right there.
Yeah.
She's coming in next week,
Amazing.
playing
Oh, is
exactly
she?
where you played from this morning.
Please
so.
profess my love to her.
We will. Don't worry, we're
And,
playing this back.
when you're talking to Willie Nelson, please profess my love to him.
He knows his birthday a couple days ago. I think he's 86.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought,
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Now, it's not all about
He doesn't
the top.
look a day over 85.
Looks good.
It's not all about the top end of town for Rob. He's doing an old-fashioned in-store today, Ed, for Triple M
I
at
love that.
Eastland.
At
1 o'clock
Eastland.
out in Ringwood. You'll play, and people can buy the new album, which is obviously called Chip Too Small.
And
out
I will
now.
be singing I Think We're Alone Now.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Fantastic.
No. That was my Tiffany reference.
Amazing.
Love
I
Tiffany.
love
The
that.
Malls, Tiffany, no?
Hey, can I just also say,
That one just landed.
It went over all our heads.
Landed. Boom.
Anyway, it was pretty good up until then, Rob. It was nice to have you in.
hey, tickets for both gigs go on sale Wednesday, Rosemary, at livenation.com.au.
Next Wednesday.
That's next Wednesday, not today.
Not today.
All right, next Wednesday. Margaret Court Arena, Tuesday, 19th of November. Rochford Wines, Yarra Valley for a day on the green, Saturday, the 9th of November. And as we mentioned, it is a huge tourist time around Melbourne with the Melbourne Cup after the footy and all the things that have been going on there. So a great opportunity. To get
Go to
your tickets, get it early.
livenation.com.au to sort that out. Rob, great honour to meet this morning.
on you,
Thanks
Rob.
for driving by.
And I think Rob's going to be back on Kennedy and Malloy
He
again
is,
this afternoon.
yeah.
So you go out you go and do your shopping centre appearance, and
Yeah.
then you come back in here and do it again.
Yeah.
Hardest working man in show business.
Great stuff. Well, I've just got a call through from Andrew Moore, who's a great mate at Lex of the Blackburn, Das, and he was saying how he still remembers that Rob saying, her diamonds, which was unforgettable, he said, at that $1 million lunch. And as a result of that, he's back on as a sponsor there to raise more money with the kids. So there you go.
That is
Rob.
awesome. And then I will do that this afternoon for sure.
Good
Great
man.
stuff.
All
10
right.
minutes to 9. That was Rob Thomas. We'll come back and wrap up here on Triple M.
Thanks, man.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That was a brilliant job.
Nice to meet you, mate. I loved it. Yeah, it was great.